morning, star seeds. Morning, morning, morning. To all my star seeds, my intuitives, my magic makers, and spirit bringers. How are you all today on this beautiful, beautiful day? This beautiful, beautiful day today. We're going to hop right in. And get our message for today from Divine Spirit, from Source. As we start our day and move about business today, Divine Spirit, I come giving you thanks for your guidance and your protection. Archangels, ancestors, spirit guides, and light bringers, we thank you today and ask for your guidance for today. It's Magical Monday, guys. Let's see what Source has for us for today as we begin our day. Guidance do you have for us, Divine Spirit? All right. We have the Revolutionary. The Revolutionary. That's a beautiful card. How are we igniting our passions, our fire today? As we move throughout our day, are we passionate in what it is that we are interacting with? Are we moving from a sense of yes, that holy yes? Or is it a heck no, right? But being revolutionary in the way that we think and the way that we move today, right? How can we take action towards being that revolutionary spirit in our day to day? And I'm going to give the description of this card. These are the Threads of Fate Oracle. And I absolutely love them. They're such beautiful cards, and they seem to really, really, really speak to the current energies. And this card is an ether card. So revolutionary, the revolutionary card is asking you to challenge the status quo. Whether it is external or internal, the revolutionary seeks to do things radically different. Like the outlaw, the revolutionary has ideals that can be viewed as out there. They are a natural leader that can see what the collective needs and are able to put it into action. They invite others to be a part of building the world with them. So how are we, as we start our day to day, looking to be that revolutionary, looking to be that leader, that emperor energy or empress energy, right? How are we thinking outside the box, which is very natural for us as spirit people. You know, that's what we do. We never go with the status quo. And sometimes that can work in our favor. Sometimes we get a little resistance, but we are the merrymakers. We are the ones that see things a little different. So as you're traveling through your day, how are you being revolutionary in your thinking? How are you being the revolutionary in your actions, right? And always for the positive, always for the good, always for, moving towards your goal. So I'm using the Light Seer Tarot today for the accompanying card. And the two cards that came out was Five of Swords and Seven of Wands, right? Five of Swords. So, Five of Swords deals with, I know a lot of tarot readers like to say, oh, this is conflict. And they usually refer to it as external conflict. But a lot of times, swords, more than not, are talking about inner, your inner mind, your thinking, your cognition, your perception, and how we perceive in the world. So be careful today of your thoughts, you know, in your role of leader, of revolutionary. Are you seeing this within yourself, right? Are you seeing yourself as a revolutionary, or are you having like this mental chatter, this back and forth? Is there something that you really, really want to do that's out of the box but needed? And your spirit is nudging you to do it, and you're conflicted about it. How can you take a step today to be the leader, to think outside of the box, to not allow yourself to get caught up in the mental chatter, right? Sometimes it's funny how other people can see things within us that we haven't yet figured out. We don't see it within ourselves. And it's because of limiting beliefs. So, what is it? How are we perceiving? What are the thoughts that are plaguing our mind, right? And so, how do you do that? How do you get out of the limiting, right? Self doubt. How do you get out of the back and forth mind chatter, the internal conflict? Do I? Do I not? Do I? Do I not? Right? How do you get out of that? You get out of that by centering yourself and working on your energy. If you take a look at the Seven of Wands, which also came out, she's in a protected bubble, right? She's surrounded by light and peace. She's very peaceful. She's centered, right? So, how can we center ourselves to come out of this mental conflict, this back and forth, back and forth? Do I not? Am I not? Right? What are they going to think of me? How are they going to see me if I start to move in this way? Center yourself. Another thing that Spirit is saying is that regardless of what it looked like, when you are being pushed by Spirit to step into a role that's not comfortable, and we get pushed out of our comfort zone, what Spirit is saying is, but you're guided, you're protecting, you're protected. If you just take this step, you are surrounded by love, you are divinely guided and led. So, taking a leap, knowing that, you know what, regardless of how this go down, I am divinely supported and I am divinely led. So let me step up to the plate to be this revolutionary, right? Let me step up to the plate and let me go ahead and lead this, because I know, right? That's what Spirit is saying. You know what to do. You know how to do it. But you're in your head and you're conflicted to make that move. And I get it. Sometimes, we're facing situations where we know exactly what to do. We could be very good at it, but How am I going to be perceived? One thing that is coming to mind is people tend to perceive you the way that you perceive you. So if you are seeing yourself conflicted, if you are seeing yourself doubting, worried about how it's going to look, worried about what people may say, then you're not coming from a place of leadership. Even if it's being the leader of your own life, right? But taking small steps to, you know what? I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I know what I should be doing. And I'm going to take a couple of small steps towards that today. So I'm going to say that today, the energy is that of divine guidance, being led, trusting your spirit, and not being trapped in the mind. Should I not? Do I not? If you see the crows here, they're pecking at his mind. They're circling, meaning thoughts are just circling. They're just circling. And you're conflicted in those thoughts. So this is not the energy we want to be in. This is not the energy of today. We're not claiming this. What we're saying with this is we're going to make sure that we trust ourselves. We're going to make sure that we are balancing and remembering that we are always divinely led and divinely guided. Right? That's our energy for today. And anybody that say different, tell them come see me. Right? But this is going to be our energy for today. And we're going to let go of this energy. Of the am I good enough? Is this right? There is no right or no wrong. Technically speaking. Right? When it comes to us trying to create, and that's what we do. We create every day. The question is, what are we creating? Are we creating this or are we creating this? This is alignment. This is peace. This is love. This is acceptance. This is passion, right? Look at that peace. Look at that peace. So today we're going to, throughout our day, choose peace. And we're going to be revolutionary, not just in our actions, but our thoughts. Our thoughts. We're going to come out of the limiting, right, mindset and beliefs. And we are going to step into the energy of divine guidance and protection. Because that's love. That's the expression of our highest self. And that's what we're going to work towards. And in our day, if we encounter energy that pushes us back to this Five of Swords, then we're going to take a step back and we're going to say, wait a minute now, that's a lie, right? That doesn't speak to the truth that's within me, that is innate. So let me take a step back and let me recenter myself. Let me quiet the mental chatter. Let me perceive this from a different place. I want to pull one more because it keeps what I keep hearing Source say is perspective. Mm. Some of us, and what came out was the Two of Swords. There is a need today for us to look at our thoughts and our chatter, our mental chatter. There are some decisions that need to be made, but the confidence is not there. And Spirit is saying, hey, I got you. Spirit is saying, I got you. If you just step into who I know you to be, who I made you, created you to be, you will be so divinely protected and guided. But there is a need for you to make a decision. It doesn't matter which way you decide, but make a decision. And be okay with it. Not because making a decision, if you make a decision and you cannot look at it as, and we do that sometimes, it's the human nature. We're faced with a decision, something that is burning within us, and we're trying to decide. And so what keeps us here is, okay, am I making the right decision? Am I making the wrong decision? How do I know that this is going to work out? It's going to work out whatever you decide, because you're divinely guided and protected. And what Source is saying to us today is that in order for us to get to wherever it is that we're trying to get to, in whatever comes up for us today, because things come up throughout the day. Be revolutionary in your thinking, in your thought, and in your actions. Don't worry about, right? Don't worry about if it's the right decision or the wrong decision. Do not torture yourself. Do not be conflicted, but rather be at peace with your decision. Be at peace because you know that you are divinely led and guided. If it's burning, and you know which choice to make. Deep down, you know it, but there is a fear of not wanting to mess up. You don't want to mess up. You don't want to make the wrong choice or the wrong decision. Sometimes, stepping outside of the box, stepping outside of the status quo is exactly what's needed. And I get it. I get it. When you are faced with certain decisions and you're trying to figure out, okay, if I do it this way, then these are the consequences. If I do it this way, then these are the conflict. And it's just a constant circling, like those crows in the Five of Swords, toggling back and forth in your mind. And Source is saying, stop it. Stop it. Get centered. Remind yourself that you're divinely led and guided. Remind yourself who you are and whose you are. My grandmother used to say that all the time. There are so many sayings, and you'll hear me say some of them on this channel. But she used to always say, always remember who you are and whose you are. Right? And you are a child of source, a child of the divine. And divine will never leave you unprotected, ever. I'm sorry about that. Let me turn this off. I thought it was off. Apologies. um, Divine will never leave you unprotected. So as we go throughout our day today, how are we going to take revolutionary steps? How are we going to be the revolutionary in our own lives? And it doesn't have to be something major. It doesn't. Just something small. Something that helps you to remember, I'm divinely led and guided. I'm protected. My energy protects me. Source protects me. Ancestors protects me. Spirit guides, ascended masters and teachers, angels, right? My entourage is huge. It's huge. And so is yours. And so is yours. Sometimes we can get so caught up in life that we forget who we are. We forget whose we are. I was raised in a spiritual church, and I have studied and practiced several belief systems. I am a true spiritualist. I do not hold tight to religion because I think that sometimes it can put you in a box, and that's just my opinion. I'm not asking anyone else to feel that way, but I respect all of them. And I respect them because they all have a truth, right? And one of the things that, when times get a little dark and things get heavy, I have to fall back, regardless of all of the things that I've studied and practiced. And it has been a lot because Spirit led me to various paths. But there comes a time where I have to then sometimes fall back on those foundations that I grew up with and remember who I am and whose I am, right? I am a child of Source. I have always been divinely led or guided, even when it looked horrible. I promise you, if you follow your intuition, it may be rocky, it may be a little funky, but you're always going to be led to high ground. The thing is, though, you got to make a decision. And only you know the decision that you have to make. There are times that I have a very different relationship with Source. It's sacred, it's loving, but it's also real. She and I talks every day. I kid you not, every day, all day, I am in conversation with my spiritual entourage. And sometimes it's fun and it's quirky, and I'm just they tickle me. They tickle me, cracks me up. And then sometimes, because I am human, I am spirit and flesh, sometimes it's a straight up battle, right? Or I'm like, divine, like, what y'all doing? I need everybody at the round table. I ain't signed up for this. I didn't. And if I did, I need to see the contractual agreement, right? But that's the relationship that I have with the divine. What is your relationship with source? What is your relationship with your entourage? Because that's where your strength is coming from. That's where your protection. Look at that. Look at that bubble. She is, as the kids used to say, she Gucci. And a lot of times we are, regardless of what it can sometimes look like and feel like. When our mind becomes just so cluttered, and I get it. But today, let's make a decision, come out of our head about the decision that we made, and trust that we are divinely led and guided. Today, let's take a small revolutionary act, regardless of what it is. I always get so, my perception with this camera be jacked up, so you all have to forgive me. But let's take a revolutionary act, and it can be something small. Even if the outside the box is, I'm not about to go back and forth with this in my head. That's a revolutionary act. It is. If you are a constant thinker, to say to yourself, I'm not about to go back and forth. Sometimes we got to talk to ourselves in the way that we would talk to other people. Right? Sometimes I have to say, self, no, we're not doing that today. And then work really hard not to do that today. Sometimes that has to happen to break a pattern that we are used to. So your revolutionary act can be as simple as, I'm going to make this decision, and I'm not doing that to myself today. I choose pure acceptance and love, and it's going to be all right. This is the way that I'm going, and it's going to be all right. It's going to have to be, because I said so. Because I have the jurisdiction, right? And the power given to me by source to say what this is going to be and what it's not going to be. And should I stumble, should I falter, it's okay, because I have a whole entourage there to help me if need be. So that is our guidance for today. And we have this. I'm going to leave it here. I love you guys so much. As you go throughout your day, remember who you are, whose you are, right? Trust yourself. Trust yourself. May you be blessed. May you be divinely led and guided. May you be heard. And may you be understood with so much love. Have a good one.